to my channel. So in last session we have seen how to record the scenario and how to set the proxy, okay, and Jmeter on the browser. So in this session we are going to look into like how to do the correlation, okay. Like I have opened my Jmeter script and I have opened my recorded, okay, so scenarios which I have like shown in the last video, right? So now this is my like recorded scenario, okay. So now before you will begin with the correlations, see, like the correlation is basically is like help you to like run the script with the dynamic values, okay. So the dynamic values are probably like those which are getting changed every time in the application, okay. So when you are sending a request, like we have here, if you look into, we have so many requests here, right? So and if I'll select this particular request, so see, like this like request, okay, we are sending to the server with all these details, right? And this is a post method, okay. So and this is the path and this is the server name, right? So this all values are like recorded, so during like the recording session, right? So here if you look into again, see, these all values are like pre-recorded, okay. So while we have recorded the scenario, now what happens, like all the details are recorded for all the requests, right? So now, but when I'll try to run this requests now, right, so most of the requests will get failed because the request data will get changed, okay. So either it will be like some of the values, okay, or it may be some other like header details, okay. So if you look into this particular request, like we have the header, right? So in header we have some of the details, right? So that means when I'm going to run this script, okay, so during recording all the data are preloaded, but when I'm going to replay this script, okay, so some of the requests may fail which contains a dynamic value. Dynamic values are the one which will change every time, okay. Maybe the date, okay, or some other values like in the header, okay. So we need to basically like ensure that the dynamic values are getting replaced every time whenever we are running the test, okay. So and some more like values, like let's suppose this is the request we have and this is another request, like, so what happens sometime, this the next request what we have, it depends on some previous requests as well, right? That means when this request is processed, we'll get some data, okay, as a response, and that response contains some of the data which is passed to the next request, right? So here we have, like for example, the next request. So this is the request number 277 and this is the request number 283, okay. So suppose like we are running this 277 request, okay, and we got the response, and that response contains some values which is dynamically passed to this request, okay, 283 or further requests, okay. So those requests may be anything, any details from here, okay. So like maybe the grade, okay, or maybe the any different value which is picked from the earlier, okay. So request response body, okay. So I'll show you this, okay. So let me show you how we can do this correlations first, okay. So before we start with the correlation, see, once you have done the recording, right, so then you just run the script, okay, to identify which are the requests getting failed, okay. Let me run this script here. So I will run this script now, okay, and I'm running this with one user now currently to like debug and to do the correlation, right? So before we'll put a more load on the server, before actually we'll put a load testing, okay. So we need to after the recording is done, the most important thing is first you need to debug, okay, the script, and you need to do the correlation. So once this is done, then you need to go and do the load testing. Okay, so before like the correlation, okay, so if you'll start doing a load testing, like we'll put a more load, okay, or when we'll try to run the script with a more load, so that will be not useful, okay, and there will be no load on the server. So the most important thing is after recording is you need to debug the script and you need to correlate all the parameters. Okay, so now let's see here. So I executed the script, okay, and if you look into, right, so most of the requests are failed here. One second, yeah, so see, like most of the requests are failed. Now if you look into this, all these requests are not grouped together, right? Like here, like in my last video I shown you how to group all the uh, particular requests into a separate transaction controller, right? But if you look into here, everything is mixed and you're not able to identify it properly, right? Well, I'll show you one more method in using which we can group all this, okay, so requests. So I will clear the data for now, and what I'll do is here I'll go to this transaction controller and you need to select this checkbox generate parent sample. Okay, so do this for all the transaction controllers so that when we'll get the results in the view results tree, okay, it will be grouped together. Okay, so now again if I am going to run it here, so we can look into, right, see now open group, open URL, this is the, okay, so complete transaction controller is, okay, so executed for one user. So now login, see now it is in uh, properly arranged manner, we are getting the request details, and like this makes the debugging very easy. Okay, so and to group the like requests together. So now let me open this. Okay, so see in open URL, if you look into here, we have only one request. Okay, so the same way it is here, one request which is pass, this is pass. Okay, so request number 17, so that means no need to do correlation for this particular request. Next is login, right? So let me open here the login. See in all the requests under the login is all are passed here, right? So and that means no need to do the login correlation. So now let's open this, click on RLP, right? So this is the click on RLP, and if you look into, some requests are failed here. Okay, so and this is the response we are getting. Okay, so response body, so this will vary from your application to application, the error. Okay, so in my application here, so now this particular request is failed. I'll talk about why it is failed. Okay, but if you look into, this is the request, so request number 269. Okay, so 269, so see this values, okay, whatever we have, right, same value is displayed here. I let me, okay, so this all values are same. Okay, so that means whatever is present under the recording, okay, so here like during the recording here what values are present, right, the same value is used, okay, so at the time of execution as well. Okay, so now not only this particular values, okay, even the header details, like for request number 269, these are the headers. Okay, so even the header details, like if you look into this particular token, okay, so and all the other details, this will remain same. Okay, so here you can look into this, say this is the request header. Okay, so now if you look into this token here, this is the token. Okay, so probably this token is, now this is actually here my dynamic value. Okay, so which is every time getting changed. okay, and this token will get expired. Okay, so this token is valid for only 30 minutes. Okay, that means during recording, okay, this particular token is here recorded, right? So it is in header. So same way, like for depending on the application, some values will be even present in the request body as well. Some values may be present in the URL as well. Okay, so dynamic value, so which are getting changed every time. Okay, so here in my case, in my application here, so the dynamic value is this token. Okay, so which is present under the header. The dynamic values is maybe present in the body, maybe present in the URL, maybe present in the header manager. It depends on the application. Okay, so now in my application here, so the dynamic value is present in the header manager, and this dynamic value is getting, okay, so this value is getting changed every time. But in my script I have, this is the value. Okay, let me copy this entire thing. I'll copy this entire thing. Okay, so see here. Okay, so or else what I'll do, I'll go to the last value just to show you the comparison. See, the last value for this is QB array, right? Okay, so and let's look into here what we have. See, this is the QB array, right? So that means whatever we have here, so the same value is passed here. Okay, and this token is expired. That means new value is generated here, right? This value, new value is now coming. So and I need to run this script with the new value. So this script is getting failed. Okay, what we need to do is we need to do the correlations. Now this value, this token, okay, so we need to identify, okay, see from where this token is getting generated. So okay, so now if you look into here, see, this is the first request. Okay, so this previous requests are passed, right? Now if this line 269 is getting failed, that means for this, okay, so in this for this request some values are coming from the previous response. Okay, so these are all the requests, right, which are got executed, and we got the response for each of this, right? So now we need to identify this, where is this token present. Okay, so this token we need to identify. Okay, so we need to capture this particular token. Okay, so now let me just go and find out from where this token is getting generated. Okay, so I will look into all the requests. So this is the request. Okay, so request body and the response data. So here the token value is not there, right? So now let's go back here. Okay, so this is, okay, so the request, there is no response, okay, for this particular request. Okay, so now see, now here on 87 requests, so say this is the request, okay, so which is for user login, right? So this you during user login, okay, we are getting this token generated. See here, this is the token. Okay, so if you look into the request here, so see the token, okay, so is there, like here are the dynamic value generated, and this token is used, okay, so in the 269th request, okay, and not under the request body. Okay, so now it is present in the request header. See, again I'm repeating this, the dynamic value can be either, okay, so present in the body URL, okay, or in the body, okay, so or okay, so in the header. Okay, so in my case the dynamic value is here in the header. Okay, so this is the token. See, now this is like either you can go and search for this. Okay, this is one way to identify, like you can look into all the response and you can compare. Okay, so what values are passed in your the failed request. So either in the body, okay, is there any value is coming from the previous response. Okay, and then you need to go and identify, so on which response you will get it. Okay, so this is one one of the way, like you can just look into the response body and you can search for it. Okay, so other way is like, so if if you're like if the script is lengthier, right? So and you're not able to identify the which is the dynamic value, so what you can do is you can do the same step in the browser. Okay, so like you log in with the same details here. Say this is the login. Okay, so I will log in into this URL. This is the URL which we have captured. Okay, and then I will log in with these details and I will do the same step like what we have done during the recording. Okay, so I have opened here, like I have logged in into this application and I have done the same steps, okay, which I have done during the recording, okay, in the browser, and I used F12, okay, function 12, okay, to inspect the element, okay, and to identify what is the request, okay, data. So now, if you look into which is the request field is here, the request number 269. Let me just go and see what is the request here. This the request is for API v1 class reading history data. Okay, so class reading history data. Okay, so this API, okay, is getting, that means this particular request is getting failed. Okay, so now the same, if I'll, because the same steps we are doing in the browser, right? So definitely it will, like in the browser also the same request will be, like we can capture it. You know the request, this is the request. Okay, so class reading history data, see you can compare this ORPTT. Okay, so domain name API v1 class reading history data. Okay, compare with this, so this is the same. Okay, so that means this is the request. Okay, so now this is the request. Okay, so which we have present in the Jmeter as well, and it is getting failed. Okay, so now if we'll, this is the request. Now let's look into what is the details present for this request. So this is the response header. Okay, so general. Okay, this is the request URL. Okay, see here it is getting passed with 200, but here it is failed. Okay, because this is the, we have recorded long back and now the token is expired, but this I'll just logged in. Okay, so with this detail, so automatically, so in the application the latest token it will use, right? So but here the, it will not use the latest token because it will just replay whatever the recorded script is, right? And whatever details are present in the recorded steps, those only will be repeated every time. Okay, so but in browser the real time data, okay, so token it is getting used here. Now the same request, okay, so is present, but here it is getting passed because the latest token is generated and it is used in the browser. So now look into here, so we have the request header. Okay, so now in the request header, see all the details are similar. Okay, so even the authorization, okay, bearer, and this one details. Okay, the token, see now this token is different, this token is different. Okay, so this is during the recording this token is generated and it is now stored in the script, and it is using every time, but every time we need to make use of this value because this is getting changed every time, right? So this is the fresh one. That means when the same login I am using here, the token is generated is different. This is the dynamic value. Okay, so now what I will do, see, if you look into where these details are passed, request header. Okay, so similarly you need to identify here, see, in the request payload, okay, view source, see this is the payload. Okay, so the payload, okay, so in my application currently, okay, so I can pass any of this value. Okay, so it's not a dynamic values. Okay, so here, like, see this is my request body, right? So whatever I will value I will pass, so the response I will get based on that, right? So this is already okay, so here there is no dynamic value for me. Okay, so in my application, but it varies from your application to application. Okay, so that is important, you need to identify which is the dynamic value, and it may present again in the request header. See now it is here, this is the dynamic value, okay, so which is getting changed every time in my case. Okay, see, this is, if you look into here, this is different. If I log in again with the application, this will change. Okay, so now I have identified where is the dynamic value, so now I need to correlate it. So what I will do here, see, we need to identify from which, okay, request this dynamic value is getting generated. So the dynamic value is getting generated, so I have identified in this request, right? So this is the token, okay, so which is getting generated. So now I need to capture this information from this request and I need to pass it to this particular request. Okay, so how we can do it is, so this is the, we need to identify the request number is 87. Okay, so I'll go to the request number 87 and you need to right click and you need to add a post processor element. So I have created a separate video for the post processor where I am showing you how to make use of JSON extractor, bound extractor, okay, and other, okay, extractor and other things. So currently I'm using here the regular expression extractor. Okay, so post processors are basically executed. Okay, so once the request, okay, so is got processed, and once we'll get the response, right, so that time the post processor elements will be getting executed. Okay, so there is a hierarchy for the execution as well, which I explained to you in the other videos. Okay, so now I've added a regular expression extractor. Okay, so on request number 87, right, so in regular expression extractor, so we need to, like, you make use of, here we need to create one variable. Okay, so this is user defined, you can use anything. I will give it as token. Now regular expression, so you can like, there are different types of regular expression. Okay, so you need to learn about the regular expressions more. Okay, so to capture the values. Okay, so you can use regular expressions, okay, so which are commonly used. Okay, so and this depends on the what type of data you want to extract. Okay, so here I have random text, okay, numbers, okay, special characters generated. So to get this value here, okay, so what I'll do, I will first, okay, make a note of the left and the right boundary. Okay, this is the right boundary. See, this till here, okay, this value will remain common. Okay, boundaries will remain common. Okay, so every time when I'll run the script, this particular thing will is going to remain common. Okay, so now here, and this token is getting changed every time, right? See here, the token generated is this, but we are, like, using this old token, right? So for this request, see, this is the old token, okay, QBR, which is present in the recording, but the actual generated is this one, okay, which is different, okay, token. So every time we need to pass the newly generated token, okay, in this scripts. Okay, so now I need to capture this. So I have first identified the left boundary. Okay, so this is the left boundary. Left bound and right boundary are basically like between the dynamic value. So the left side whatever is present, and on the right side whatever is present, which is not getting changed. Okay, so this will not get changed every time. So I'll capture this and I have made it here. Okay, so now here within this bracket, so I put one regular expression, and so this will vary, okay, on the type of data which you are trying to extract, and this is my right boundary. See this one. Okay, so within this left and right boundary, okay, so the value, this particular position, it will generate every time, okay, whenever we'll run the script, and this value I want to capture it, right? So given a left and the right boundaries. Okay, so $1. This is the template. Okay, so we are extracting a single value, it's not a double value. So this is the okay template which is defined okay from the Apache Jmeter. Okay, so to be used to extract the one value. So to extract the double value, we have other methods as well. Okay, so I'm not talking about this in this particular video. Okay, so for the regular expression, but currently, so since we have the one value, we are using this. Okay, and match is I'm using the first match. Okay, so the first, because see, if you look into here, we don't have other match, right? So we have only one single value, so this is a single one, or you can use zero. Zero is for the random. Okay, so but here we don't have any random. Okay, so one. See, in many times what will happen, you will get many values. Okay, so not a single dynamic value, multiple dynamic values. So in that case, like, so either you want to use the first one or second one or third one, that you need to decide. Okay, so and even like we have the grouping concept as well. So I have created a separate video only for about the regular expressions. Okay, there you can go and watch for the more details. Okay, so see now we are given the variable in which this token is getting stored. Okay, and the first match. So if what if the token is not, if suppose this line is not executed, okay, so 87 is not executed because of any reason and token is not generated, then what has to be used in this variable? So that is the default one. So I'll mention no token found. So this is the, if token is not captured, okay, or your regular expression is incorrect because of which the token is not captured, then this no token string, it is going to be like added, so initialized to this token, okay, variable. So now this is a variable I created. Now where I need to pass this variable, so I need to pass to 269 request header. Okay, so now we need to go to the request number 269, so which is here. Okay, so this is under the class RLP and 269. Okay, so okay, see, like we have the same thing here, like class driven analysis. Okay, so these are our similar requests. So okay, see, I had shown you for a class reading history, but for this class RLP as well, see here, class reading history level progress data, and this request is also class reading. Okay, so I think okay, there is a, okay, so no problem. So whatever the request is, you just go and identify class reading history data, and yes, I shown you the correct one. So this is the class reading history data, but for all the requests, okay, so since the application is same, so these are the dynamic value for all of the requests. Now this is okay, so for 269, so for 269 I will go, and so now my dynamic value is not present in my request, right, or in the URL, it is present in the request header. Okay, so see, this is the recorded one. So what I need to do, I will select this. The one more thing you need to observe is only this part is getting generated dynamically, and this is okay, so prefix is added. Okay, so we are not capturing the prefix, right, so we are capturing only the dynamic value. So we need to select all. I will delete this. Okay, and okay, so I will use this one, or else I will capture from here itself, no problem. See, this is, see, only this value is getting generated now, right, in the response. So this is extra. So what I will do, I will copy it. So you need to be careful while copying it, because even if there is a space, okay, see now from here there is a space here. So what I'm doing, I'm replacing, I'm making use of that variable. Okay, dollar. So in this is a JavaScript okay, so used in the Jmeter. So to extract the value from the variable unit is the syntax dollar, okay, so then flower brackets and the variable name. So this is the variable name is token, okay, so which, say this is the token, okay, variable name, okay. So and now I use here in the particular request, okay. The same way, see, for I need to do it for all the requests, okay, because that is the dynamic value in my application, okay. So in 277 also I need to do the same thing, okay. So what I have done here, so I will just, okay, copy this, okay, and I'll go to 277 header as well, okay. I will delete this, okay, and I will paste this, okay. So 277 283, okay, so 283. So hope you guys are getting this. So you can ping me if you're not getting this, okay, so you can comment me, okay. So depending on the application, so you, like, I'm repeating this most of the time because this is very important step, okay. So correlation, without this you cannot go and run the load test, okay. So 283 is done, okay. So 281 does not contain any details, so no need to worry about this, okay. So see, this is the 281 and like nothing is there, okay. So this is, see, this is not related to our server, so you can just go and delete this, okay. So you can right click, it's, I think mouse is not working properly, okay. So yeah, right now disable this, okay, or you can remove this because it's not related to our server, okay. So in class A, 295 and 299, okay. So 295, okay, header, okay, delete, okay. And similarly you need to do for all the, okay, request which is containing a dynamic value, okay. So if you're extracting a dynamic value from any one of the request, you need to identify, so in which all request, okay, the dynamic value is used, okay. So and you need to go and replace this, okay. So this is done, and now, okay, so this is request number 300, so this is 300, okay. So this is, I'm going to header, okay, and then, okay, so this is done here. So in this is the dynamic value, we have replaced it, okay. So in my other videos and all, I have shown you even how to do the correlation, okay. So if the dynamic value is present in the body, okay, so like this is the body, right? So uh, in some of the requests, okay, so even we are passing some values, okay. So in this particular body, okay, so and even in the URL, okay, so that, like, you can go through it, okay. So now if you look into, I have replaced all the headers, okay, so with the refresh, okay, token as values, okay. So that means now when I'm running this script, right? So when this line is getting executed, whatever fresh token will get, right, that is being used here in all the requests, okay. So it will not be like earlier before doing a correlation, like it will make use of the recorded one, right? So because we are freshly capturing this from a particular request and we are using it, right? Now let's run it and check whether now this time it is getting passed, okay. So we create the data and let's run it, okay. So if you have any doubts, okay, so if you want to ask anything, so you can comment me out. Okay, so let's check this results. Okay, so here, like I just shown you. Okay, so in actual, what is the request, okay, is going, what is the header details are going, okay, so and what is the URL. Okay, so all this I shown you just to like ensure that, to identify whether the request details are correct. Okay, so okay, so now see, now this time the script is okay, so executed, and now here if we look into, so the line, all the requests are got passed. Okay, so now the earlier the request failing was 269, right? Now let's compare this. I'll go to the, see, now we are getting the response as well. Okay, so request header, see now if you look into, let's compare this. See, this is the token, now it is getting passed, so PQCK. And what is the latest token generated here? See in the response, see PQCK, right? That means this fresh token, okay, we have captured from the response, okay, of 87th request, and we have used this in subsequent, okay, requests. Okay, like here the request 269 we are used in the request header. Okay, so hope you guys understood this. Okay, so the correlation, so I have shown you the different types of doing correlations. Okay, so this is the correlation, so when the dynamic values are present in the header. Okay, so similarly you can do the correlation when the dynamic values are present in the body or in the URL. Okay, so hope you guys understood this. Okay, so and keep watching my other videos. Okay, so where I have shown you how you can extract the value, okay, from a response, okay, using different types of post processor. So here we use regular expression extractor. So similarly we can make use of other types of post processor like JSON and all, okay, to get the information uh, response in the from the JSON body. Okay, so one example is I'll show you. But see, like this is the now request, it got passed and we got the response body, right? So suppose this one of the value, like for example reading history, okay, or a grade. Okay, so grade provided, so any value, suppose I need to extract from this response and I need to pass to this particular request body. Okay, for example this is the grade which is hard coded, right? Grade 5. So I don't want this value to be hard coded, and it has to be, okay, taken from the like previous generated grades. Okay, for example here this grade. Okay, so here suppose this the latest, here also we have the 5, but okay, so but suppose I want the latest value. Okay, so see the here we have grade underscore 5. Suppose I want to make use of this one, not grade underscore 5, only grade 5, okay, in this particular request. Okay, so then I need to make use of the JSON, okay, extractor. Okay, so because this is a JSON, okay, format. So if I'll go and change here the JSON path, let's see, this is the JSON, right? So we can use of the regular expression extractor, okay, also for this. Okay, but the simple approach is JSON. Okay, so this is all I have explained in other videos, so please keep watching it. Okay, so let me know if you have any questions. Okay, bye bye, thank you for watching my video. Okay, so please subscribe to my channel and like to my channel. Thank you, bye bye, have a nice day.